It's all good. Hello. Welcome, Internet, to the International Writers' Fellowship on the 29th of April.
Yeah.
I've just got my calendar ready for May, as in the 5th month of the year.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It is, yeah.
It is. Yeah. It's yeah. Hi. I'm getting old. As people can see, it is just me and Erica today. Ember is ill. We'll hope she recovers soon. I think she's got a cold, which, ugh. When was the last time we saw Jen and Gary? I genuinely can't remember. It's been a good couple of months now, surely.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So I don't know if we just start assuming that it's just us.
I don't
know. People have things going on. Families, responsibilities. Ugh.
Yeah, all of those things.
Speaking of, how are you?
I'm good. Good. Had a conference Thursday and Friday and got to meet, our mutual friend in person for the first time. And
is she as lovely in person as she is online?
Even better.
Oh,
so awesome. And so she basically gave two different presentations. So the first day was
for the internet, she is Sophia Ansari of the Let's Play Therapy Institute, who is one of the best nerd therapists in existence.
Yeah, lots of geeky stuff. And so like our first day of the conference was superheroes and pop culture and play therapy, which that was actually my introduction to her in July of 2022, virtually. That was the first time I had ever met her. I saw that advertised somewhere and I was like, oh, this is like right up my alley. I want to do this. And then took the training. I was like, oh, like you need to be one of my people.
I have met you. I love you. I need you in my life. Hi.
Pretty much. And then we just kind of connected so I had already done that training, but I'd done it virtually. Even better in person. And then Friday was Sandtray. And I love Sandtray. Love Sandtray. So
beautiful work. I saw Sophia did I can't remember if it was a workshop or a video interview. She did some Sandtray about creating your own islands for Inside Out. You know how
islands of personality.
Yeah. Which that is such a Sophia thing to think of. That's just...
Yep. So we did that as an intervention on the first day. We just drew them out on a piece of paper, but then very easily to translate to Sandtray. So hi, Charlene.
Charlene's here. It's a geek therapist three-way.
Well, and I actually sent Charlene a message on Thursday because Sophia was showing pictures of geek therapists' playrooms, and Charlene's like D&D room was one of them, and I was like, oh my god, I want your room.
Charlene does have an amazing therapy room. And sorry, hello, why not Cora? Why not Cora? That is a good question. Cora over Aang, frankly.
So yeah, it was so amazing. It was so good. And I got to eat dinner with her Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday night.
Okay, so now that's just greedy, frankly. So then, shall we do cards? I've done the cards the past few weeks. Do you have any cards?
Cheese.
I mean, I can do it again.
I do. I do. I have. Well, now that I know which side of or which description thing to read, because these cards again are lovely and beautiful, but they have the really wordy description, kind of like yours do.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But so I need to read, what is it, like the second part of it, not the first part of it. I think it's the commentary I want to read. So these are
okay. That's really nice of you, Cora. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. I hope you'll stay. Oh, and we've also got Smaragon. Wow, we've got a lot of people already. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining us.
So these ones are the Osho Zen Tarot cards.
Ooh, they're nice.
I love Osho. I think he's he can get kind of wordy, but if you can read through the wordiness, I think he's kind of brilliant. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. Jeez. Okay. So Rebirth is the card.
Oh, I love the art. It's gorgeous.
Okay, now let me see. Okay, hold on, because I can't look in. I don't know how to read this book yet, so I'm gonna have to. Oh, what? Huh? Okay. We're okay. So this is the Ten of Clouds.
10 of Clouds.
Okay, so 136.
Suspense is killing me.
Okay, which side of this do I want to read? Okay, I think I want to read this side. Okay. Enzen, you are coming from nowhere and you are going nowhere. You are just now here, neither coming nor going. Everything passes by you. Your consciousness reflects it, but it does not get identified. Here, I can hold this up while I'm reading it.
Oh, yes.
When a lion roars in front of a mirror, do you think the mirror roars? Or when the lion is gone and a child comes dancing, the mirror completely forgets about the lion and starts dancing with the child. Do you think the mirror dances with the child? A mirror does nothing. It simply reflects. Your consciousness is only a mirror. Neither do you come nor do you go. Things come and go. You become young, you become old. You are alive, you are dead. All these states are simply reflections and an internal pool of consciousness.
Okay. You see what I mean about it being a bit wordy? But I mean, in terms, if we're going to interpret it in terms of writing.
Oh, hold on. Let me read this one little part on the other side. Whatever the space you are in right now, sleepy and depressed or roaring and rebellious, be aware that it will evolve into something new if you allow it. It is a time of growth and change.
I like that bit better than
the whole other side.
Yeah, basically. Hello, Chaz. Thanks for coming. Missed you. Yeah, I much prefer that side. Just about, it's all about, well, if you're going to put in writing, just letting yourself go with the flow kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, well, and also I think sometimes, you know, how an idea starts may not be how it ends. And you know, with this lovely, you know, dragon smoking a cigar sitting on top of a pile of
I'd forgotten about that chap. I'd moved on.
Oh, I have not.
Okay, no. Why would you have? I did.
Because the more I'm kind of diving into this idea, it's not what I originally thought it was going to be.
Okay.
And so I'm going with it. I'm letting it take me where it needs to go.
Kraken's here as well. Hello.
Oh my gosh, Kraken.
Where have you been? You don't feel the need to answer that question straight away. I
love that.
That is, yes, that's
fantastic.
Yeah, to be fair, I've never started a story by describing the smell of turnips. Probably because I don't actually know what turnips smell like. But I love that. That is just, I don't do much in the way of seat of the pants writing. I mostly am a planner. I will still ponder things for weeks on end and then start writing. Yeah, absolutely. But my favorite moments are the ones where you just kind of glazed over or staring vacantly into the distance and suddenly everything makes sense. I love those moments.
Yeah. I've found with writing Alana's story, and because so much of it is, I guess, planned, because it's already done. Like, we've already done it. And I am very much not a planner. I am very much a pantser. Like, give me a prompt and we're going to see where it takes us. And so my favorite moments have been the ones where I've kind of gotten to deviate from the campaign. Like the whole, we're going to go cook dinner and sing a sea shanty that I have not forgotten about. It's just last week was really busy. But that was fun. I was like, where in the hell did this come from? And it's amazing.
Have you had any more thoughts on sea shanties?
No, so Tuesday I had 10 clients to see. And then Wednesday, I found out that one of my very good friends was in the hospital and it was not good. And so I was very worried, and then had to go set up for the conference and help with all the things. And then Thursday, Friday was like, no.
Is your friend okay?
She is. She actually went home yesterday, I think. Yesterday? I don't, days are days.
They went home a day in the past.
Yes, okay. They are home now. So yeah, it was kind of scary for a minute. So No.
Okay. Well, from the looks of it, Chaz is still well up for it. So and is definitely a pantser. I enjoyed yours.
Pantsing is my favorite. That sounded really.
I mean, We can have that conversation off air, don't worry. I enjoyed yours, Dan, the one you posted last week. Did I post? What did I post last week?
Oh, the second story you ever had published? Because you said that the first one.
Yeah. Oh, Warriors in the Mist. Oh,
that one, yes.
Thank you, Chaz, for reminding me, because I totally remember what I did before this morning. Yesterday was another life. So I think that essentially, though, what that card was saying was pants more.
Yeah, sometimes we need to pants.
We do indeed need to pants. I mean, I can't guarantee that I'm pantsed right now. I am really just don't. They're pants more. Yeah.
Well, okay, hold on. Let me.
She's on that. Kraken's disappeared again. I don't know. You can't trust that one.
Okay, so without knowing that it was National Poetry Month, that is freaking fantastic, Chaz.
Oh, Chaz, you are my new friend. I mean, to be fair, when you say you're drunk right now, I mean, we've already established you're Scottish, so, you know, what's the line from Bottom? Oh, well, I suppose I can't complain. He's only ever been drunk once. Trouble is, it's lasted 23 years so far. Oh, okay, sorry.
But so, like, without knowing that it was, I mean, it was part of her presentation, right? And so, without knowing that it was National Poetry Month,
which we have totally done lots for, by the way. It is now the second to last day of International Poetry Month, and we haven't done a single thing about poetry.
We did.
Aren't we a great writers group?
We did a blackout poetry to the Pokemon theme song.
Oh, I'm sorry, what does blackout poetry mean?
Okay, so we did. I mean, I could run down. Let me run downstairs and grab mine really quick. Hold on.
Oh, she's. It's just me. Oh my god! It's all people. You've written so much. Well, Chaz, we should have spoken sooner and had you on, because we had such plans for April. We knew April was International Poetry Month, so we were going, yep, let's get together, let's do poetry. Done zero. I wrote a poem in advance to try and get myself ready. Didn't do anything.
See, I bet you all are glad that I have pants on.
I want to be a poet, Chaz. That's the thing. I want to be able to say, yeah, I can write poetry. I'm nervous about dipping my toe in that particular pool.
Okay, so this type of poetry, I would totally be down with doing tons of this kind of poetry. So
you are aware that just repeating the Pokemon song isn't poetry; it's just plagiarism.
No. Hold on. So we all had the lyrics printed out, and then we just went through and circled the words that stuck out to us. And then you black the rest of it out to see what you come up with in the end. And then we did a sand tray to it, because this was a sand tray day.
Of course, yeah.
So mine reads, I'm out of shape if I just ran down the stairs and back up. And I'm like,
I walk down the stairs and back up, and I'm out of breath. So, you know, you're a step up from me. And before you start, Chaz, I don't believe that for a minute. You know, if you can write poetry, you can write prose. The skill sets, it's, you know, anybody can ramble on forever. To write poetry, you've got to get your entire meaning into a couple of words. So I am in awe of you. I can ramble. I can't succinct. Sorry, Erica. By all means, carry
on. Travel far and wide, power that's inside, destiny, a heart so true. Challenge, courage, I will battle every day. Arm in arm, always dream. Courage, a heart so true.
Can't see any themes there. No theme. That you wrote that just by blacking words out.
But I just went through and I circled the words that were like calling out to me. And I didn't even do it line by line. I just like
bleep blop bleep blop.
Uh-huh. And then I blacked out the rest of it. I was like, huh. And it almost kind of sort of makes sense.
It does. All about, courage, self-worth.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I might have to try Chaz's. It's easy when you're too lazy to write much. I might have to give that a try. I've never heard that exercise. That is.
Well, so then my daughter also did one, and so like she's an actual artist. Like she is like, I guess, a fine art artist. So I'm learning that I need to be more descriptive, not just I don't know if descriptive is the right word, but like, because some people would call us artists because we create.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't consider myself an artist. I'm a creative person. I don't consider myself an artist. I consider my daughter an artist because she's a fine artist. So they did blackout poetry, but hers is like, she painted a picture on hers that's a field with sunflowers where the words are like the words that she chose on the piece of paper pop out. And I'm like, child, you're amazing.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll build a sand tray about it. That I can do.
Yeah, absolutely. We each have our talents. And Chaz is saying her son's friend on Twitch wrote a Pokemon song. If you want to check it, it's sweet. Okay. I will have a look at that. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and Triangle Toll, welcome to the International Writers Fellowship. It does indeed sound.
Yeah.
Is that why you were using it? Is that essentially was it an exercise? Was it one of Sophia's or?
Yeah, it was one of Sophia's.
Okay.
I mean, in kind of sort of, I suppose sand tray is kind of a Rorschach, so I mean, it can be ish.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to both Chaz and Triangle Toll. So Erica and I are both therapists as well as authors, and Erica spent a few days last week with another creative therapist friend of ours, and which is where she did this blackout poetry, and I'm like, oh my god, I could use this with my clients. Ugh! So we're going to try and keep talking about writing, but apologies if we start nerding out about therapy stuff.
Well, I just think it would be really cool I was even thinking like about my favorite authors and my favorite books, and photocopying a page, just a page out of one of my favorite books and doing something with it, like doing a blackout poem with one of my favorite books. Like, I think that would be really cool.
I can think of a couple of authors that would be especially amazing with, because some authors' prose are poetic. I mean, Ursula Le Guin and Robert Holdstock are the two that come to mind straight up for me. Their prose drip, they're like golden honey. They just drip with meaning and beauty, and just, ooh, I like that. That sounds. Ooh, yes. Oh, and I like Chaz's idea as well. Writing a poem backwards. I'm trying to think of the Lady of Shalott backwards. Come on, Alfred. Where are we?
Let me just pull out my book of poems.
Hey, I have a book of everything.
Yes, I know.
Come on.
No, I love that about you. It's like, it's a lovely thing.
Okay, let's. Ooh. So, the Idylls of the King. Let's. Vivian. Let's have a look at Vivian. Here we go. So basically, the idea is to read the poem backwards.
Or read like the last line first and read it backwards that way.
I tried it one of mine that I started. The lady doth protest too much, and when that line came at the end, it worked so much better. Oh, really? Huh. So it's not as in reading it word for word backwards. It's reading the last line, then the line before. No. Okay, let's just read the last bit. So line by line. Oh no, let's do word by word because that would be just batshit crazy. Yeah, I mean it's Alfred Lord Tennyson, so I imagine this guy's pretty damn good. But purely for a thought experiment, we're gonna do it. So, fool echoed forest, thee and her behind. Closed thicket, thee and forest, thee adown. I don't think like that. Okay. Behind her, the forest echoed fool. Adown the forest and the thicket closed, and shrieking out, "O fool," the harlot leapt, then crying, "I have made his glory mine, and lost to life and use and name and fame, and in the hollow oak he lay as dead, of woven paces and of waving hands, then in one moment she put forth the charm." Yeah, a bit. Yeah. Lines, not words. Yeah, just for the avoidance of doubt. Because that obviously this is a narrative. That was a narrative poem as opposed to an emotive poem. You know, this was just basically a lay. He doesn't have. He's quite wordy in his. Hadn't a head to manage and drank himself into his grave. For Annie, you see, her father was not the man to save. Never the wife for Willie, he wouldn't take my advice. And Willie's wife has written she never was overwise. Ruddy and white and strong on his legs, he looks like a man. And Willie, my eldest born, is gone, you say, little Anne. That makes sense.
It's like that one worked.
Yeah. First published as The Grandmother's Apology on July 16, 1859. This book was printed in 1911. It's got gilt edges and everything. I like it. What were we talking about?
Blackout poetry and reading poetry backwards and going with the flow and growth and change. Oh, holy crap. Okay, so be aware that it will evolve into something new if you allow it.
Okay, so you've just got to keep your eye out and the cards' meanings will reveal themselves. Oh, that's a shame. That might well be a conversation worth having because I'm not a big fan of the concept of inspiration. I think people who sit around waiting for inspiration to happen are doomed to spend a lot of time waiting. I would just I'd be a bit more forensic about it and say, I like this kind of thing. You know, identify the things you enjoy and decide if you want to write something like that, and then just kind of see how other people have written them. and let that be the inspiration. Let your enjoyment be the inspiration, I suppose, would be.
Well, and if poetry's not it, then poetry's not it. Poetry's not it for me. I mean, I can black out a song and write something that's fairly decent.
Was that the original Pokemon song, by the way?
Yeah, we listened. She played the whole thing for us.
I want to be the very best. That one.
Yeah, that was it.
How do I remember that? It's like 30 years ago.
Well, so we also so this is a writing thing. Also,
sorry, just to second what Jazz says. Sherwood Smith has a fantastic line for the editing process. Sherwood Smith is a fantasy author, and she describes the process as sifting the shit for the gold. I approve.
Yeah.
Descriptive and toilet mouth in one helpful quote. Shift the shit. Absolute shit. Yeah, I shift a lot of shit in my life. That's the only problem. Moving on. So, sorry, Erica, you look like inspiration has hit.
Well, no, like for me, I almost so we read another portion of the Santray day was to read the poem Why I Write by Terry Tempest Williams. And it was a really powerful poem. I think it's a poem. I'm guessing it's a poem. And
I can tell you.
We were supposed to go through it and find a line that spoke to us. And for me, I guess my quote unquote inspiration, they're like little flickers. That's almost how I envision them. They're like little flickers of like sparks that eventually they're going to come full-blown fires. And so where the Why I Write comes in is the line that spoke to me was, I write to soothe the voices shouting inside me, outside me, all around me. And so for me, that's where my flickers and my sparks come, is they're almost like constantly coming at me, and I just jot down ideas. And then eventually they're going to build into fires. But they don't all come at the same time. And when I have a flicker, I don't typically have the time to let it grow into a fire.
I just like the line that I write because you can play on the page like a child left alone in the sand.
That was one of them. That was another one that there were so many.
I've never heard of that. I'm going to read it in full.
It was really, really powerful. And, you know, like as a writer,
I imagine that's considering obviously this was done on a therapy piece of therapy training. The fact that obviously I suspect it was you got something out of the exercise that other people on the course wouldn't have.
Yeah. And I wanted to do more than one because there were multiple lines that spoke to me. But
you had to pick a single line.
Uh-huh.
Oh, ouch.
I almost felt like I needed to roll a dice for it because I had probably had enough to roll it, multiple of the dice. But yeah.
Sounds like we're in agreement that inspiration, quote unquote, is, but you can't use it as an excuse not to write. There was I forget the name of the comic. It's a web comic. Basically, it was a poet, in the middle of the night trying to write, but just clearly, with block, and then all of a sudden somebody kicks open his door, and just barges in and goes, "What? Who is this?" And this really burly woman goes, "I'm your," just effing and blinded, "I'm your bleeping muse, you little polyp," and then walks over and just smashes his desk. No. My muse is willowy and alabaster. So, yeah, well, she had an accident. I'm your muse now. Grabs her. Now then, are you going to write some poems, or am I going to rip off your balls and hunt ostriches with them? And then the final scene is the next in daylight, and his butler comes in. "You've been productive today, my lord." So, "Shut up! I'm writing." Maybe more of us could use muses like that.
That's fantastic. See, and we were having the conversation Thursday night, 4 of us, talking about, like, if we weren't doing our full-time jobs as being therapists, what would we want to do? I was like, I want to write. I want to write full-time because I don't have time. I don't have time to write. And when I do have time, I don't have the energy. Like, my muse is so tired from being creative for my job and thinking outside the box for my job, that when I got the time to be creative for myself, we'd be tired.
Yeah, I hear that. I've actually found the comic. Here we go.
Oh, that's fantastic. I need that muse to come and visit me.
I love it. So there you go. I did I write down? I don't actually know where that's from. So wherever that's from, find it and go there. I will find. Ooh, oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! That's bump 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 bump. What I'm looking for. I am looking for that. I will find it. I promise I'll find it. Just
I need to figure out how to, or I guess I just need to join so I can join the chat.
The blank page, apparently.
The blank page. Okay. That will be fun. Love it.
Anyway, I'll
I need to add more things to my to read list.
Of course you do. Of course. I mean, because yeah.
I could do blackout poetry with your book, Dan.
That would be weird.
I'm gonna do it. totally gonna do it.
Okay, so it's oglaf.com, oglaf.com. And I'm not gonna. And the first one that comes up, the latest one, is called Crowning. You have to be over 18 to view said comics. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, spell it one more time.
So oglaf.com.
Okay, so I think I played that in my head. I recorded it, but then when you said OG laugh, I spelled out the word laugh.
Oh, I see. Sorry.
I am over 18. Oh.
Yes. Yes. Yes, as in childbirth, but if you take away the child and replace it with full-grown adults.
Oh boy. Oh, this is gonna be lovely.
It's yeah. Oh, and sorry, Chaz was saying, mine was a bit like, I just got told my line. His face didn't know whether it's a wrinkle in disgust or. I fucking love that. That's amazing. We've got sidetracked again, haven't we? To the point where I can't actually remember what we've got sidetracked from. Inspiration. We're talking about inspiration. That was it.
And the crap that is the word. The concept of inspiration, and I feel like it almost feels oppressive.
Like anything. Unichoose can go get themselves. I don't. Yeah, I have a long-standing and well-known lack of respect for academics. Largely because my first ever job was in academic publishing, and you don't come out of that respecting academics. Sorry, Erica, carry on.
So, I don't know. I'm kind of having like this multi-layered like thought thing because, you know, ADHD, and that's how our brains work. But how people will sometimes ask or tell a person with ADHD, well, can't you just, right? When someone comes at me with those words, I want to smack them, because if I could just, I would. Really, I would. And so that's almost, I don't know. I have this same like gut feelings with inspiration almost.
What, you want to smack people who say it?
No, but just like the thought that writers and creators and creative people should just be inspired all the time by everything. Like, we should just be able to find inspiration. And I was like, no, that's not how that works.
No, see, but again, I'm also at the stage that yes, kind of, because it depends really on what we mean by inspiration. Because at the end of the day, if you're going to become a professional author, the only way you're going to be that is if you write. And you can't just sit around going, oh, I can't write today because I haven't had inspiration. But likewise, certain things hit us when they hit us. And but it depends how you're approaching it. If you're approaching it as, okay, I've got to get this done, so I will. It depends again how you what you mean when you use the word inspiration, because I have to write 1,000 words by the end of the day. I'll take whatever inspiration I can get, even if it is Dragon with a Cigar, for example.
Well, and then also how, like, what your medium is to produce that. I don't know if that's the right words to say. I'm
just going to read Triangle's. Do you know what? I very much agree. I like that description.
Yes. Yes. I think the combination of those two things are the things that I'm trying to, like,
yeah, as in,
you know, sift the shit in my brain to find the words to it. Yes.
And you know, because and that also goes down to, well, why are you writing and what are you writing? And even goes to the question, well, what is art? Because we all know that there are people who only write when inspiration hits them, and therefore it will be decades between books, and they think that people who write just to sell the books are just selling out. And it's like, no, what they are is they're rich and you're not, mate. For example. Yes. Or not if they're writers, but they're more successful than you, is what I'm making. But if you're writing just to enjoy it and you want to feel that joy of, that's going to be amazing, that's different from, okay, well, I need to get this written because I've got a deadline next week. You know, and that will depend very much on you and your relationship to the writing process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You have a very shifty look on your face, Erica. What's going on there?
Oh, no, I don't know. I was thinking about TJ Klune and how I really, really, really would love for him, like, everyone to just go and buy his books so that he can be one of those really, like, really super wealthy authors, so that he doesn't have to worry about money and can finish the 2 books in that series that I really want him to finish because they didn't sell well. And it's just like me being selfish.
Fair play.
Because I want them. But again, like, he had to make a decision. Like, these books did not sell well, so I can tell the rest of the story, or I can make a mortgage payment.
Yes, quite. Like,
dude, I get it. And I want you to finish the books.
I mean, but also, when you say they didn't sell well, they didn't sell well by whose standards? I mean, I can imagine that if I had his sales, I would be over the moon.
I think with those,
if this thing sold as well as his books, I would be yay.
Like, I think he self-published those, but now he's like, he has a publisher. Like, there's a publisher that's picked him up, and so he's re-releasing all of his books. And I am hoping that with this new publisher and with this new following that he has, and like, he's doing book tours for these the re-releases, that people will pick up this series and people will start, like, not demanding, because he is very much one of those people, don't demand shit of me.
As what's it called? Neil Gaiman once said, George R.R. Martin is not your bitch.
Yes, that is very much him. And that's like one of my favorite.
I really like him for that already. This is the chap who wrote House on the Cerulean Sea.
Yeah, that's like my whole upper arm. That's him. I love him because
how is he? I mean, in the nicest possible way, how has he had such a big impact on you? Because he's not been around all that long, has he?
You know, I have no idea when he published his first book. I just I connect to every single one of his books somehow.
You find him inspirational, I might say.
I want to crawl into all of his worlds and be best friends with all of his main characters. Even if they would not want me to be like, oh gosh, Gus from How to Be a Normal Person, he would not want me to be his friend. He would be like, no, stay away from me.
And you'd be like, no. Yeah, I'm here.
And I would tell him, you're my person now, and sorry about your luck.
And sorry, Jazz, I'm just seeing this. Yes, I think that is a very apt. I mean, to be fair, you can be both. I can think of plenty of geniuses who are also dickheads, and I would acknowledge both. You don't have to like somebody to learn from them, I suppose. I suppose the other thing that we should potentially talk about then is the concept of inspiration in D&D, and how do we use that? Oh my god.
He published his first book in 2011.
So,
but TJ Klune, but I didn't start reading his stuff for the last year and a half, and I've read his entire collection.
So you've only been reading him for a year and a half, and yet he's just completely he's impacted you so much that you're getting your entire arm dedicated towards it to him.
Well, no, it's done. I've got it. It's all done.
No, but that's what I'm saying. As in, he's had such a big impact on you. Your entire arm is his now.
Yeah. Maybe 2 years. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like that. But I just never meet your heroes is the old adage, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But also you get bardic inspiration. How do you play that out? And you get See, I don't agree with you on the first part, because you've come here and you've been the direct opposite of one of those. So nope, sorry. A genius. I mean, if you've written as much poetry as you say, then yes, I'll in the past month, I'm well off believing that. No. Nope.
Well, I was going to say something that was going to sound really awkward. But Chaz, if you are one of those, you're ours one of those.
Indeed. Yeah. If you're a dickhead, you're our dickhead.
Okay. See, Dan said it, so I didn't have to.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I have no problem with saying awkward stuff.
So back to the D&D thing. The thing that I love about getting inspiration from D&D is getting to play it, getting to actually do it instead of. So for me, being a very kinesthetic visual person, I get to see all of the ideas and get to see them in almost 2D and 3D, as opposed to just on paper.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
So I'm currently having one of those moments I really want to buy something, and it's like, nope. But I want it. No. But I want it. No. But it's so cool. No. There's an RPG. Have you ever heard of the Gumshoe system?
No.
So there's an RPG system called Gumshoe, and as its name implies, it is mostly designed for mystery RPGs, so things like Cthulhu, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And the idea being that you get various skills, you put points in them, and but it's big. Thing I can't remember what's the word. Innovation was that if there are clues to be found, don't make the players roll for them. Just give them to them. You know, if they have the appropriate skill, they just find the clue, because otherwise, you know, the entire you don't find that clue. Well, that's that story finished then.
Yeah.
But there is a fantasy version of it called Swords of the Serpentine. And basically, from the looks of it, I obviously haven't read it because I don't own it, but I've been reading tons of reviews going, I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it. Basically, the way it makes its combat more cinematic is that you can spend points from one of your various skills or knowledge pools, and then use that to make your to power your combat move. So I forget the example it used, but yeah, yes, you could use a point from strength. I overpower my opponent and batter his face against the wall, or you could use architecture and swing and use it to swing off a chandelier, because you know that the chandelier can take your weight and fly across the room. Just so bringing it back to inspiration, just having just little things like that, just to nudge you in the direction of being creative. I love little things like that. Sorry. What did Triangle say? I played. Erica is not going to agree with us on this one, Triangle, but
and some of that is because that is the only one I play.
No,
and the way I use it is very, well, in therapy at least, is not super mechanical.
But my argument is, from the sounds of it, Triangles, is there are just so many other games out there that you will find something that you love and can't live without. But a lot of people don't bother trying. They just say, "Okay, I've got D&D. I'm playing D&D."
Fair. Well, and anyway, afterwards, I have to tell you about something I'm developing. So, what is MERP? Oh, Middle Earth.
It has. Oh, you will love this. The tiniest, dinkiest, I believe these are wooden dice.
Oh, those are so cute.
They are. And it comes with tons of standees, and I don't think this doesn't have the maps in it, but does it? No, it's got hex paper. It doesn't actually have the maps. The Middle-earth roleplay maps are incredibly detailed. I mean, not canonical. They expand the world beyond, the canonical Middle-earth. But the maps themselves are so detailed. Oh my god! And as a bit of a math a bit of a map perv, just love those maps. I wish I had them. In fact, I might have to spend stupid amounts of money to get them. I mean, what's good? What good is money for anything if it's not for buying maps? I spent too much money this month.
The month's almost over.
True.
I'm not helping.
You aren't, but I love you for it. But yeah, so I mean, so that system for Gumshoe, like I say, it encourages creativity, and I think maybe that's what I would urge people to think of rather than quote unquote inspiration. You know.
Yes, creativity. I like that as a better word than inspiration. Like creative, outside of the box thinking.
Yes, absolutely. Or inside the box, if you enjoy living in the box.
That too.
I mean, I write
creative
almost
problem
exclusively fighting. It's as in the box as you get, but I get joy out of it. So I suppose that's out of the box, isn't it? We didn't have any game stores near me because I grew up on army camps, and therefore we didn't. I mean, game stores weren't weren't big in those environments. Yeah, I would. I mean, this is the example I'll use. The One Ring role-playing game. I love this game so much. I love it. I love it. I love it. But there's a 5e version of it, which is 5e bastardized so much you might as well just play a completely separate game, i.e. this one, which and there's an expansion about Moria coming out. That's awesome. With a map of Moria. There is an Adventure Time RPG coming out. Now, I adore Adventure Time, but it isn't an Adventure Time RPG. It is an Adventure Time 5e RPG. It was going to be a standalone RPG with its own system, but then they decided there was more money in just going straight up with 5e, which is such a shame because I just can't. Carl's Isle. Carl's Isle is a great place. Carl's Isle, frankly. But yeah, I think it's on just to spend Erica's money. The Adventure Time RPG is on Kickstarter right now, so just.
Is it a UK based one? Because I'm not doing any more of those.
I highly doubt it.
Because they keep every time I back something from the UK, I have to call my damn bank.
I highly like I say it's Adventure Time. I don't think the UK owns the rights to Adventure Time.
It's driving me bonkers.
But yeah, so and that's all about creativity as well, isn't it? You know, creating an RPG system that fits the story you want to tell, rather than trying to crowbar a different system into that story. I mean, because there's D&D. I'm becoming a bit of a critic of Powered by the Apocalypse as well. I used to be really up for Powered by the Apocalypse games, but it's becoming quite everybody's using it, and it's becoming a bit. Is this a system I'd have used for this game? Not necessarily. But creating an RPG system is hard. I know from personal experience. And
my friend who DMs for us is in the process of creating one, and we play tested it, and it was so crunchy. Like it was It
Yes,
was
was Pathfinder level crunchy.
that I don't know. Like it was interesting. Like the mechanics, they had different mechanics, and but some of it was just so tedious.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this part of it is not fun. Like this one specific part. The rest of it was pretty cool. But it was like this one specific part.
And let me guess, that came up during combat?
Yeah. It's armor. It's like, so number one, your carrying weight, like, is, you have to calculate it and you have to keep track of it. Like carrying weight is very, very, like, a big thing.
Yeah.
And each piece of armor goes in a certain slot.
Okay.
And so during combat, well, I don't want to give away all the things, but it got really, really, really a lot.
Yeah.
So, but the rest of it, like some of the mechanics were really, really fun, but I've never seen, and I mean, I don't play a ton of RPGs, but I've never heard of anything like what he did. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, and there is a big market out there for crunchy RPGs.
That too. Well, just like, you know, and I know I've said this before, but I mean, we have some new people, so they haven't heard me say this, but like how Chris Colfer said, in one of I think it was during 2020, he did a book tour virtually because of COVID. And someone had asked him, you know, I want to write a book, but I'm worried no one's going to read it. And he said, there are how many people in this world? If you write something, there is going to be at least one person in this world that's going to want to read it. So write it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like same thing with RPGs. Like if you want to create this, someone's going to want to play it.
Kate One's here. Hello. You've joined us at the back end. We're probably going to start winding down soon. But yes, it's an absolute pleasure to see you. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I've never heard it described like that, but yes, I can very much get behind that. So on my channel on the RPG Therapist over on YouTube, please like, subscribe, etc. Me and Charlene and a couple of other friends, we're playing the Avatar Legends role-playing game, which is powered by the Apocalypse, and it is so weird. I'm GMing it, and yet I'm not really, and they're supposed to tell me what rules they're following, and I'm supposed to just go yes or no. It's more like I'm an adjudicator rather than the storyteller, and the pre-written adventure that we're using is shockingly badly put together. I mean, it's a mystery, but it doesn't actually have an answer, because the theory behind the way it's written is that if they tell you what the answer to the mystery is, then that's going to limit the creativity. Which, again, I can see, but as somebody who's trying to run it, it's like, and with players, I mean, my players are extremely creative, thankfully, but you know, whenever they ask a question, the answer is I don't know. So yeah.
So it's like opposite Tomb of Annihilation.
Yeah, very much the opposite of Tomb of Annihilation. Yeah, that's a good. That one thing I will say though, just so I can mention it again, best game ever.
That's in my wish list.
Just best game ever. But again, this comes back to inspiration. If you just hang around, Yeah, as usual, it's been a pleasure for us too. Don't drink too much more. Responsible drinking. But yeah, thanks for joining us, and we'll speak to you next week. Yeah, see, I have heard so many good things about Fate. Duly noted. We'll stay safe, and we'll see you next week. Yeah, I've heard so many good things about Fate, but I haven't played it. I don't own it yet because I have to read through all of these other things. And the problem I have with Fate is it's still it lacks. You've got to do all of the creative work, but from what I understand, it yourself, and which is, if you want to do that, great. But I don't know. The problem with books like that, it's like with GURPS. You know, unless you buy any of the modules, it's just mechanical, and you are literally reading a book of mechanics rather than a book with lore in it. And I think I probably read this one as well to you. Have I mentioned this here?
Maybe.
So this is an RPG. I think it's a spin-off from RuneQuest, actually, but it's inspired by and set in Lioness from the Jack Vance novels. I think you'll find it's you've got to contest that number. It's more than 100, but because this just what makes this such a joy to read is the amount of lore in it. And I just want to read to you. This is the second spell in the entire book. The first spell is Agency of the Innocent Dove, which I won't bother reading. The second spell is Agrieva's Telescopic Fornication. The description of said spell is known to the sorcerer Shimrod as the Spell of the Phoenix. This charm is used to increase the caster's own reproductive performance or restore ability in those of advancing years. Further explanation would be unduly crass. That is the entire spell.
That's fantastic.
And because of stuff like that, reading this, reading the One Ring, reading, Warhammer, 7th Sea. Oh my God, 7th Sea is so amazing. You get enjoyment in the reading, whereas with something like Fate, GURPS, and system neutral systems like that, setting neutral systems like that is it's a bit dry to read. And okay, yeah, the systems themselves make for great play experiences, but you've got to put in a lot of creative work. And again, to bring back our conversation about inspiration and creativity, some people thrive in environments where they make up their own stuff. Other people don't. And again, you'll find what works for you. Just have a look around, both as a player and as a writer.
Yeah.
It's a system of people with Wilson's disease. So, us, from the sounds of it. Yeah, I've got entirely far too many games here to to get through. I'm still waiting for my tarot-based RPG to come. I don't think it's going to be much longer. That's going to be a lot of fun. But again, that's powered by the apocalypse, unfortunately. But, it comes with beautiful art and beautiful tarot cards. So sacrifices must be made.
I mean, I bought the D&D one. even though I really didn't want to give WotC any more money.
Yeah, well, that's another conversation for another day, isn't it?
Yeah. I really wanted them, though. And I really, really like them.
Lancer. I have not played Lancer.
See, today it's a good thing it was just us today.
Yeah, I mean, or it was a bad thing because we might have been talking about writing instead of RPGs.
Well, it's all creativity.
It's all, and I've written my own RPG. There it is. It's there. It's that's Anna. That qualifies as an RPG. Okay.
Well, and I'm writing a whole 7-book novel series on a full campaign.
Yeah. So yeah, fine. Okay, yeah, it's
fine.
Yeah, no, I haven't played but the chap who created
what is Lancer? Okay, see, is Triangle Toll going to be bad for me?
Yes, I'm afraid so. Well, no, saying that you don't like sci-fi, do you? Lancer is a mech RPG.
Oh, okay, never mind then. I don't need to pull that one up.
No. Okay. Whereas the chap who made Lancer is writing a webcomic and has been for about a decade, I think, called Kill 6 Billion Demons, which is amazing. And there is also a Powered by the Apocalypse RPG version of it, which I haven't played. I have, but I haven't played it. But again, so many games out there. There will be something that is perfect for you and your table. But so many people are just they get too comfy playing. Usually it's D&D, and don't bother exploring it. Well, yeah, which is fine. Don't let me criticize you or change it. But there will be something better out there to meet your needs. But is it worth looking for if you get all the fun you need out of D&D? Do you need to look further? I would encourage you to, because that way you don't need to pay WotC any more money.
Oh, I don't pay them any more money because I make up all my own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and
I don't try to run Tomb of Annihilation anymore.
No, Jesus, no. I mean, the fact that you tried it in the first place. There's a fine line between bravery and stupidity. I'm not entirely sure which side of that line you fell on.
I think I was teetering right on the
line. Right, shall we call it a day, being as we're 20 minutes past the hour, and we Triangle, we do this, and everybody else who's watching, we do this every week, Mondays, same time, so please do join us. We do plenty of talking about RPGs as well as writing, as you can tell. I don't think you try and win. It's a big module, but I think the concept is that magic has stopped working or something like that, hasn't it?
Kind of. The main concept is once you die, there is no
you can't resurrect. Yeah.
There is no coming back from that, and you've got to kind of figure out where that comes from, and the where it comes from was it. I had to change that part of it because I couldn't handle it.
Just too much in one place. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, Tomb of Horrors, the one where you yes, but Tomb of Horrors was back in the day when it very much was a case of winning D&D. Tomb of Horrors was created specifically to torment players. I mean, literally, that's why he created it. He created it so that everything was a high-powered trap that would kill you. I mean, there was a hole in the wall, and if you put anything in there, it was instantly destroyed. So if you put your hand in there, you don't have a hand anymore.
That's fantastic.
No, but that was tame compared with most of the stuff. And I say, literally every other square on the map was deadly. It's iconic, but at the same time, designed for a certain style of play.
Yeah. Probably not therapy.
Really not therapy. No, if you're going to therapy, you want to have telescopic fornication, obviously. I just love the fact that's the name of that spell. It's amazing. Anyway, yes. So, thank you everybody for joining us this week. It's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed this. I like it when people take part in the chat. So, thank you for joining us. It's opposite. Yeah. How can we traumatize up? No, if you want, where is it? If you want a game to traumatize your players, Cthulhu or this is so good. You basically design the when you write the campaign or the scenario, you design the bad guys based on the character's traumatic experiences. So if you say the character was abused as a child, then they have to fight a monster with the face of their abuser or something like that. It's dark.
I mean, that could, with enough setup and resourcing, that could be therapeutic.
Absolutely, but it is not. It is not designed for that. It is designed to fuck your characters up.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to do that.
But it's got such good rules in it. It's got the Emotion Knight, which, yes, exactly, which is just a fighter, but its powers are fueled by a sacred emotion. So if you're a Depression Knight, you have to get depressed in order to use your magical abilities. And where is it?
Damn it, Dan.
And it's by Rowan, Rook and Deckard, so you know it's amazing. It has an emotion wheel. It has a godbinder instead of a cleric, who basically, instead of praying to the gods and getting miracles, does deals with gods and for favors, and the gods can call in those favors whenever the hell they like. So it's like, oh, hey, remember that time I teleported you out of that massive dungeon that was falling down around you and you're all going to die? Yeah. You see that orphanage over there? Yeah. Burn it down. I'm sorry, what? Yeah, burn it down now. And you have to do it, otherwise, it's amazing. I love this game so much. I haven't played it. I've read the book twice now, I think.
And that one's Die RPG?
The Die RPG, based off a graphic novel series called Die, which is about a bunch of kids who get together to play an RPG, then get sucked into the RPG, and then come out again a few years later completely traumatized by their experiences.
See, I would love to get sucked in. Like, I would love to get sucked into my story and like be able to be my character. Like, that would be the coolest and most terrifying thing ever in the whole world, as long as I got to have her powers.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to burn down the orphanage just to get the next party put together.
That's cool. Anyway,
but yeah, and I believe there is an expansion coming out for Die soon, which has something like I think they called it an X crawl, where you, instead of a hex crawl, you go around a map meeting your character's ex-partners.
That would be so fun.
Yeah. Rowan, Rook, and Deckard. So there are two RPG publishers who, as far as I'm concerned, can do no wrong. Free League and Rowan, Rook, and Deckard. I don't own everything from either of them, but whenever I see anything, I'm like, yep, I will get that, and I will happily get that if necessary. I mean, Rowan Rook and Deckard have Goblin Quest, where you create where every character is a goblin, and they are so squishy that you create 5 of them each at the start of your game because most of them will die on the way.
That's lovely.
Seriously, if you're gonna buy every item from a single RPG publisher, go to RRD. Grant Howard, Chris Taylor, and Maz. I can never remember what her surname is. Their surname is. Those 3 can do no wrong as far as I'm concerned. And as I say, Free League does the One Ring, Coriolis, and so many other things. Forbidden Lands. Oh God. I'm sorry, Erica. So I apologize to your bank account. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just seeing they have these one-page ones.
Oh yeah, RRD do so many. Have you ever heard of Honey Heist?
No.
Oh, okay, that's quite a famous one-page RPG. And also, I think, as I recall, so Critical Role released their own one-page RPG, and I've heard on the grapevine that wasn't actually written by Critical Role; it was written by Rowan Rook and Deckard.
Oh.
I could be wrong, but I believe that's what it is. I believe it was. I could be wrong. That's no, not Candela Obscura. It was just a one-page RPG. I think it was something like about familiars. You played a wizard's familiar or something like that. I'm not entirely sure.
It's like, all right, I got to get off of that page because otherwise I'm going to just start buying all the things.
Yeah, Critical Role played Honey Heist, and I think they got them to what's it called, to write Familiar Story or whatever it's called. Right then, for the third time, let's third time lucky. Let's try and call it a night. As I say, you can find me over on the RPG Therapist on YouTube, where Charlene, I, and a couple of our friends are playing Avatar Legends, but I've also got videos on drawing maps, reviewing RPGs, etc. So Triangle, if you want more from me, go over there and have a look. And if you want to read about how role-playing games can help in psychotherapy, Role-Playing Games and Psychotherapy, a practitioner's guide written by Daniel Hand, available now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and wherever you get your reading material. Sorry, don't know what happened there. Erica, how about yourself?
I'm also on YouTube and Twitch at RPG Play Therapist. I don't have anything on Twitch, and I have like one video on YouTube for now.
It's more than most people have.
It's one of those sparks.
Absolutely. I think I think the consensus today on inspiration has been, don't wait for it, but at the same time enjoy it when it comes.
Yeah. And what did this say here? We'll close with the whatever the space you're in right now, sleepy and depressed or roaring and rebellious, be aware that it will evolve into something new if you allow it. It is a time for growth and change.
And on that bombshell, thank you very much indeed, everybody, for joining us. Please do join us again next week for another chat with the International Writers Fellowship. And yeah, have a good week in between. See you next week.